David and David here. Let's talk about the best over-ear headphones of 2021. This is a 6-month follow-up video to one we made earlier this year.
Right, and this is probably the #1 example of us listening to you and reading your comments, because we've included so many headphones that you have requested. The JBLs, the Koss, the Sennheisers, Wyze, House of Marley even. And we've spent over $8,000 of our own money on headphones at this point. So we think that you can trust our reviews. We hope you enjoy them.
We listened to 8 tracks, also tested for portability, durability, comfort. If you want to
could be systematic, hydromatic.
If you want to skip right to our top and bottom 3, timestamps are in the description.
Yep, and if you enjoy, please consider joining our channel and please subscribe to our channel. We really appreciate it. Thank you.
Apple AirPods Max.
Why is the case so big? Because the headphones are so fragile.
Look how flimsy this case is. Look how flimsy this case is. Now, we've talked about this before, but if like it got exposed to water, I mean, your port's exposed right there. The mesh here, probably the most fragile part, totally exposed.
Real sturdy feeling, all metal. It's nice, good rubber at the top. If we had square heads, they would fit perfectly.
Headphones number 35 are great headphones.
Yeah, they're excellent.
I think it might have been the best Daft Punk I've heard so far.
Yeah, the Billie Jean and the Beck song, I felt could have used a little more bass.
AKG K371. So we got a case, we do have a pouch. The other headphones, you can wear them in different angles. These ones looks like you can wear them in all sorts of angles. And I'm not really a big fan of they got the AKG, they also got this little, 3 hearts overlapping, kind of like
Those are cardioid microphone patterns,
okay.
David.
I wonder if it bent up too bad, that might break pretty easily. They're light.
I thought they were very comfortable.
Pretty comfortable. I'm not a big fan of these.
Colin, you failed us? There's really no high end to these. No high end. There's no high end. Very mid-range focused. I thought the guitar sounded good because that's where these headphones are optimized to shine.
Anker, Soundcore, Life, Q30. We did the Q20s in our last round of videos. Good case.
Nice case.
Everybody's doing that design now, copying the Sonys.
Yep.
I'm actually really liking how these adjust. Ooh, they're snug. They're comfy.
Yeah. I think I can just break these. Not convinced of the durability piece of this. Ooh, nice and light, like David said.
You're getting that depth, but it doesn't necessarily sound super great.
Yeah, I just thought it sounded kind of thin. I didn't think there was a lot of depth, actually. I wanted more bass. I wanted more oomph.
Interesting. I thought the bass might be slightly overpowering. Beyerdynamic Lagoon ANC. Not sure if you toss these into the Lagoon, if they'd hold up. Interesting case design there. Looks like hair.
Also a bicycle seat. Yep.
Sturdy though, very sturdy. I'm kind of concerned about the padding on the ear cups. It's thin and firm, and I'm not sold on it. I'm not a fan of how these feel.
Yeah, I'm not a huge fan of the style right off the bat. There is a tone when you go like that.
Oh yeah. This was my least favorite Beastie Boys. I mean, the 3D space and the songs we're listening for it, I just didn't really get it. They just didn't really do anything well.
Just sounds flat, kept having to turn them up. Wasn't very inspiring.
Swing and a miss on these ones.
Yep.
Bose noise canceling headphones 700. When we did our first round of videos, these are one of our favorites. Here's the box. Take that right out.
Great case.
Really good case.
Yep.
I'm still not sold on the little antenna design for the sliders. Nice soft padding there, soft earmuffs. Ugh. Ugh. Fit well on your head, they're not loose, they don't move around. They've held up extremely well.
Slight treble boost, maybe a little bit more bass on the Beck.
Excellent noise cancellation, excellent sound.
Yeah, you won't be disappointed. Very comfortable. This was the first one that I listened to today that really captured the tone of the cello. Like it sounded like a really nice instrument.
House of Marley Exodus. So we've got a pouch, you got the little Rasta going on there. This is very firm, the headband here. It's very light.
They look very stupid. Due to this beautiful sound, I don't think that this is gonna hold up in time.
It's very square. Oh God.
Sounds like ice cream truck version.
I mean, the bass sounds bad, the clarity's bad.
Yeah, there's a difference between like too much bass, whereas this is like an absence of everything else. I think it's a good thing that they're made of recyclable materials because that's exactly where they belong.
JBL Tour One headphones. I mean, it's a sturdy case too, it's a good case. I'm kind of worried about the padding on the top. It looks like it's kind of narrow up there. It doesn't feel very padded. Light, comfy, turn my head.
Colin, do we have the Sony case over there? Sony case, JBL case. It's identical. A little uncomfortably squishy for me.
Going out with a whimper, these were not great. Just awful. Not nearly enough bass. The Kronos Quartet is narrow and flat.
Lack of bass all the way across the board.
Yep.
Lack of definition.
Koss BT540i. Gigantic case, holy cow. Look how big that is. These remind me of the Audio-Technicas quite a bit.
They're kind of stylish. I think they look good.
Not terribly comfortable though.
Ugh, touches your ear. Kind of a strange design here. It's like the soft side of Velcro.
Tiny buttons, gigantic ear cups that somehow don't have enough padding. Ooh, jeez, flimsy. It felt like these are gonna get really hot in your head after a while. I thought these were pretty good.
I thought these were a solid 3.
I thought the 3D space was pretty good.
I felt like it had that extra treble boosty thing that I'm not a big fan of.
Microsoft Surface headphones 2.
Very Windowsy case there.
It's a nice case, sturdy. Kind of looks like the angle of the cups there. It looks like they're kind of diagonal. I feel like my ear is almost touching the mesh inside the ear cup. I think the top headband needs more padding. Daft Punk, I felt the bass was a little aggressive there. Beck and Beastie Boys, it felt like the bass wasn't strong enough.
The low end always sounded very centered. And then the higher end stuff started to be more stereo. I'm not very impressed by these. I think that they sounded pretty good. The quality of the sound matches the color of the headphones.
Sennheiser HD450-BT wireless over-the-ear headphones. Not thrilled about this case.
Oh.
Yeah, I mean, these are definitely pinging more at the bottom.
I hate these.
It's like it's all plastic.
I think they're probably pretty solid. Where's my treble? Good headphones for people who have lost their hearing over a certain range.
These just totally missed the mark.
These are terrible.
I thought the 3D space on the Steely Dan song was good. That's the best I can say about them. Wear those to a funeral or something.
Yeah.
Be in the mood. Sennheiser Momentum Wireless. The padding isn't here on the side, and it's here and it's here, and it's like an accordion. It's like they've got 2 like thin pads, and then right in the middle is like a wire. So it feels like there's more pressure coming from the bottom than on the top.
I think they're very comfortable. This, I think, is the only pair of headphones that has come with a warning that you might injure yourself.
Yeah, I thought it was all right.
All right, I thought they were pretty good.
I found myself wanting a little bit more bass on Daft Punk, on Billie Jean and Brass Monkey.
Good 3D space. I was all 4s and 4.5s.
The noise cancellation was not good.
Impressive.
Not good. So if you pick them up and you wear them and you listen to them, you're not going to be disappointed. Big Wheel of Cheese or the Shure Aonic 50s. It seems relatively sturdy. It's just gigantic, like if you're traveling.
Colin and I were saying yesterday that you could check this.
I like that twist action here. I mean, they're very snug.
They look good.
They look comfy.
Looks like you've got a leather couch on your head. I think they're very comfortable.
You look at the gigantic case, gigantic box, the ear cups look relatively big, but they're not heavy.
I thought that they were very clear, a little treble heavy again.
I did think it had pretty good 3D space for a lot of the tracks, but it just wasn't very immersive for me.
At least you can hear the high end. There's a clarity to it.
And then also we should say the noise canceling not super
good.
Sony XM4s, again.
Yep, great case.
Really good case. I like this little pocket they
Me
had
too.
here too.
Right.
Super light, super comfy.
Nice and sturdy. I don't think these are gonna break anytime soon. These have a nice amount of padding.
My favorite Daft Punk for sure.
You gave it a 5 on the Daft Punk. Steely Dan, I gave it a 5 too.
The Radiohead spacing wasn't.
That's what I said. I said, leave something to be desired
just
in
a little
3D. The Beck, I was like, maybe a little bit more bass, but it was really nice. The noise canceling on these. I still think, and people are gonna say I'm crazy, that there's a little bit of a white noise. Start listening to them and you're like, wait a minute, these are premium headphones.
Yeah. Wyze active noise canceling headphones. So it's a little bag. I mean, it gives you some protection,
For
but
$69, that's pretty good. This is sort of a weird looking pair of headphones. They're like very wide. It's got a really thin sort of an ear hole on it.
yeah, the ear cup padding is good. Top padding, not so much.
I don't like the thin ear cup thing. These are some barfy headphones.
Yeah, these were bad.
Yeah, these were bad. If the point is the bass, it missed it.
These headphones are losing me on the songs that are really important for the bass because it just sounds awful.
The high end sounds bad, the mid range sounds bad, the low end sounds bad.
Genuinely nothing redeemable about these headphones. It's time for the results. We actually had the same top 3. So this
For
will be,
once.
This will be relatively painless. Number 3, Audio-Technica.
Yeah, the Audio-Technica AKG K371-BT. Great headphones for $199. Why aren't they here? Because we've spent $8,000 on headphones and we can't afford to just keep buying them over and over again. But fabulous headphones. We just tested them a few months ago. We know, we have notes, we have thorough reviews.
You can also just go back and watch that first video and see what we said about it.
And I think we'll probably have put in a couple of clips by now.
These are the consumer line, $200. I would be very curious to hear what the high end sounds like, because these sound pretty good.
I was very impressed with these. This was the first one I put on and started listening to the Daft Punk, and I was like, thank God, it's balanced.
Yes. So number 2 for both of us was the Sony XM4s.
Right, Sony people are now leaving comments saying, we hate you, we hate you. Yeah. Sony XM4's fabulous headphones, probably the most nerdy of the headphones with the app. You can do tons of stuff. They sound great.
Yeah, I think the noise cancellation on these isn't as good as the Bose.
I know. Sony people are now freaking out.
I'm not sure they're as comfortable. They're still really good. And I think I actually enjoyed them more this time than I did 6 months ago in terms of audio quality.
Right, and things like firmware can affect that, firmware updates. I still hear a touch of the white noise sound with the noise canceling, which Sony people claim is not there and in my head. There are voices in my head, but this is not one of those voices.
One thing I will say I like more about these than our number one is that the adjusters are the clips.
Yep.
Not the sliders of the Bose noise canceling headphones 700.
I think far and away the best sounding headphones. I was having trouble finding something to complain about with these headphones. We finally got a good pair of headphones.
Yeah, I think they're a pretty good pair of headphones.
I was saying maybe it was a bit light on the bass. Sometimes maybe. Highest rated over-ear headphones for me of all the headphones we've tested, which we're pushing 50 pairs now. Second highest rated.
Well, if you want to complain about something, they are $379.
Right,
They're
complain about that, but they sound fabulous and they feel great too. These are my headphones. After we did our last review, I was like, I'm keeping these headphones because I prefer the over-ear to the earbud category, but yeah.
One pair of headphones that was in my top 3 last time, didn't make it this time, AirPods Max, and I feel like they didn't sound quite as good as they did 6 months ago.
I don't think so either. Again, firmware and also, competition, really good competition. I think the updates. Here we go. We're making a little thing.
Yeah. The price, if you can go to Best Buy or Amazon, you may be able to get these for $489 now, which is like $60 cheaper.
Couple of the colors.
And I think I said last time too, if price wasn't a factor, I might pick the AirPods Max. Not anymore. I take the Bose or the Sonys over the AirPods Max.
I'm kind of over the AirPods Max with the weight of them and the rectangular ear cups. Yep. Nobody's got rectangular side of their heads. I know that they're very comfortable, but at the same time, I'm over it.
Let's get to the drama. We had different bottom 3. What was your number 3 worst?
My number 3 worst was the Sennheiser HD-BT.
Sennheiser
H450.
There it is.
Sennheiser HD-450 BTs. I thought that there was just no definition to these, missing the entire high end. You're getting like half of the audible spec. If you like anything above 10 kilohertz, forget it with these.
Yeah, I didn't really enjoy these headphones either. I just had a couple of pairs that were just worse, like really bad worse.
What was your number 3?
My number 3 was the Wyze active noise canceling headphones.
And this will be a good transition into my number 2.
These are your number 2?
Indeed.
These are your number 2. Awful.
Yeah, terrible headphones, boring, bland, no dynamics, no definition, don't sound good. Possible electronics issue with occasional clicks. We are not crazy. Occasional little tiny dropouts.
Yeah, we both heard those.
These
are $69. You're definitely getting what you pay for. Not even, really.
I wouldn't buy them for $69. Yeah. $69 is a lot of money.
Maybe $29 might be more ballpark.
Yeah, I think so.
Wasn't a fan of these.
No, they're terrible.
My number 2 was the House of Marley Exodus.
Do you have a choice? This might be time for your exodus from the House of Marley headphones because
just not good.
No, I thought that they were pretty terrible. House of Marley puts a lot of emphasis on having recyclable materials, part of the boxes. I said, thank God they're made of recycling materials because these should be recycled as soon as possible.
I mean, the best track for me got a 3 out of 5 and a lot of 2s and a lot of 1s.
Right. These were, for me, the number 1 worst headphones by far.
Okay.
They're the only ones I rated below a 2 overall. There was not a lot of redeemable stuff. Hopefully the next generation, which I'm sure they'll call Leviticus, sounds better. My
number 1 worst is actually one that we reviewed 6 months ago, and it was the Skullcandy Crusher Wireless, and here's why. The main draw of these headphones is that the bass boost slider on the side, and if you use it, you can't listen to the headphones because it's so awful. And I just think if your headphones main draw you can't use because it makes it sound terrible.
Ridiculous.
It's the number 1 worst for me.
It's ridiculous. I mean, you put these headphones on, you tap the side of them and you hear boom. It's ridiculous. It's like Fisher-Price microphone version of headphones, except more expensive. Do not buy these.
It's an interesting experience though if you get them and just slide it all the way up for one song. And just...
If you want to torture your friends or something. Oh, I had a couple of dishonorable mentions really quick. These dishonorable mentions are way overpriced headphones that don't sound good. And the number 1 terrible we don't even have anymore, which is the Bowers & Wilkins PX7.
Awful.
Stay away from everything Bowers & Wilkins. Number 2, for being overpriced, the JBL Tour Ones. The last ones to show up, $300 for crappy sounding headphones.
They were bad.
And hilariously, exactly the same design as the Sony headphones.
It's like a total ripoff. It's
Total
amazing.
ripoff except for the sound quality.
Maybe these are like a $49 pair of headphones, in which case, you know, you could do worse.
I think that these would be worth $100.
$300.
No, they're not.
And the other one I wanted to mention are the Beyerdynamic Lagoon ANCs. Again, over $200, crappy sounding pair of headphones.
Yeah.
So please subscribe, please join.
Please subscribe for more. We can, you know, insult your favorite headphones some more.
Yeah, exactly. Leave a comment, insult us.
Thanks for watching.